Welcome. It's a great joy to be meeting with you all again. And now this is our fourth month in the series. Um, I think we probably now all got used to the idea that these meetings once a month to reflect are something that we actually do for ourselves. We've all realized in this time of chaos, the age we're in at the moment, the shutdowns, the lockdowns, and so on, the constant statistics of how many people have got the virus, how many people are recovering, how many people have died, etc., etc. And all the political and social and economic issues that have bound our lives into some sort of insecurity, and even in some cases into panic that we're not in control of the situation yet. Yes, in spite of the fact that the vaccines are coming, we don't feel in control. Well, so we have this background, all of us, each of us as we've gathered together here. And why we gather together? Because we know that we need to take time, step back from the day-to-day situation, worldwide and in my own home, both, and realize what incredible things are going on. There's a vast wave of change taking place in each of us as a human being as we mature a little more into the fullness of life. And enormous changes going on as we interact with each other as one species and as a human family. And part of that change, as we've discovered, is we have to let things go. Things that we trusted on for centuries, or perhaps all our lives, just my small life. And many of them are being so challenged and being found so ineffective that we have to have the courage to let them go. And so from the first month and the introduction, in the second month, we looked at our courage and how the human being is naturally gifted with courage to get up and cross the universe, cross water, climb mountains, discover the courage to attempt the unknown. And we talked about that, and we looked, hopefully, you spent time by yourself thinking of your own life and how you have experienced the courage that it has required of you to live the life you have until now. And the courage is going to go on. The need for courage, rather, is going to go on. And perhaps you found friends who will also join you and think and perhaps pray, certainly support each other in the journey of life as it is at the moment, and stimulate each other's courage. And having done that, we realize that what makes us move into the future is that we see some purpose in moving into the future, in doing the things we have chosen to do. We know that in many parts of the world, the number of suicides that happen in our normal families is increasing steadily, and quite often in the younger age range. And why? Because mainly they cannot find any purpose in this life. All right, you work, you study, you experience, you enjoy, and then what? It lasts for such a short time. 100 years, not like yesterday, come and gone, no more than a watch in the night, no more than a dream, as one poet said. So, when we face that our life, in comparison to the world and what we know about life, is extremely short and challenging. So what is the purpose in life? And so, in the third month, we stopped to look at the purpose I have for my life. Remember, this is not a series of talks or lectures. We're not coming to these video meetings together for information, but just for a reminder. Pull back, see what's happening in the world, really look, think, listen, watch the movement. And then in my life, because my life is unique, no matter how many trillions and millions of people are alive on the planet Earth at the moment, no two of us are exactly the same. Each one of us has a totally unique life. And so the second thing I need to do every month when I pull back is look, yes, at the world situation. I do quite a lot of that, probably. I do a lot of watching of television and statistics and so on. But much more important is pulling back and discovering what is happening in my life. How am I changing? As I go through the environment today in the whole world of shutdowns and lockdowns and restrictions and discoveries. How? How is that affecting me? How have I changed, even in the last 3 months since we started meeting together for a reminder to reflect? And so that's the second one. And when you looked at the last month's reflection and the need for a clear purpose in life, you faced the big, again, essential questions. Is there a source? Is there something, some being, some power, some creator who brought all this into existence and holds it in existence, or not? Because if not, turn off the television now and don't waste any more time on this. But basically, whatever you have called that original reality, or the only one who is, and so on, God by hundreds of different names, the name doesn't matter. The reality does. So we go on. We get our courage together. We move on with a clear purpose. Why I came into existence, why all this came into existence, for what reason. And when we've got to that stage, now we've landed today. This is our fourth meeting. This is a surprise for us very often when we meet this. You see, once we know where we're going and why we're going, we expect to have clear instructions as to how to get there. And we think that's the most important thing. The how. If we know what and why, then we need to know how. And this is where we meet an unexpected challenge. When I know I've discovered for myself why I am on a journey through this life, I know everything but how to get there. Now, this is the main point of reflection for this month. Whatever you have called your journey through life, whatever you have named to its purpose, given name to its purpose, the next question is, well, then how do I do it? How? How? What and why has led me to how? And this is the big shock. Because if I have been reflecting clearly on why I am here, where am I going? Well, you have your own words for it. You must, because each journey is unique. But we can take words that other people have used. I'm going to take one now, not just from the Christian tradition, though it does come from the Christian scriptures. A disciple, time of Christ, who said this to the others who had discovered together the same journey and why they existed. He said, look, I get on my knees and pray. I get on my knees and beg that your sense of your innermost self may go strong, so that rooted and founded, what, on reality, you can get to know the length, the breadth, the depth, the height, the utter fullness of God. Now we can all say this, whatever the word God is meaning for you, however you would express it. The whole purpose and the way of the journey is to fall down or let it happen to you, the length, the breadth, the utter fullness of reality, myself, my true self. Well, you might find other words to express this. All the religious traditions have them, I just happened to choose that one. Did you know that one? If you come from the Catholic Christian tradition, you should have heard that often enough. It's part of the service we call Mass. Okay, it comes from there. But anyway, one way or another, when we know what the journey is about, and how do we set out? How do we set out? And this is the shock, as I said. We expect to find the way, the right answer. Do this, and then it leads you there. And then you discover there isn't any right answer. It isn't a question of reading this book, following those instructions, doing yoga asanas or other spiritual practices. There is no one way except to live, to go. Journey, there is no way. There's only the going. If you get up and go, then the way becomes clear for you. It's your way. Now, most of the traditions in the world, the searches of human beings, like each one of us, have discovered this. It was the Mayan Indians had one very simple, but very clear and powerful expression. They said it's like walking. You're walking every day, your feet on the ground. You haven't got a plan, you haven't got a map, you haven't got a series of instructions. You just keep moving. But as you move, the way that you have to go lights up on the earth beneath your feet. You are led by the earth beneath your feet when you move. If you stand still and wait for instructions, then the light doesn't appear. If you go off and plan for yourself, there's no light. It's a very good, very simple illustration of a thought that comes from them. You see how when you do some serious reflecting on your own or with a friend or however it helps you, whether you have understood this fully enough. Each day and every action, the light of the path to completion which we are on, lights up as we move. And when we stand still, or we look around, or wait, or run in one direction, then come back and say, oh yes, now I've got it, that's what we have to do. We have to give all our money to the poor and go begging, whatever. We're wrong. The light lights up in everybody's life, unique and individual, and all the time, while we are moving, while we have kept the purpose of our life clearly before us. However we express it, whatever words we use, if they are the ones that I used a few moments ago, it's simple. Keep moving. Keep moving, because there is an original force, power, being, a creator, a God of all life. So you just keep on moving in that direction, and the light comes on the ground beneath your feet. Not through long theological treatises or excellent language, and certainly not through statistics or mathematics. Only the going. There is no one way. It has to be lived by you, by each of us, uniquely. Get up, get going, trust, and keep your eyes on the light within you, the reality within you. And as you go, the light will always be there. So I now know, I've discussed why I'm on the earth in the last few weeks. Why do I exist? Where am I going to? What is the purpose of my existence? And also the fact that stop waiting around for a path or a group of instructions or even a map on the television that will tell you, if you do this, this is where you go, this is where you'll arrive. Follow the light within you, and when you do, the light will continue to lead you. If you ignore it, it will not be there, and there's nothing else that can replace it. Now, some of you may be a little lost if you're used to translating everything like this that is said about reality and life and who we are into religious language. And that was very good and very helpful and very beautiful, often. But now our sense of religious language is also changing, as the world around us is changing, and as we as human beings are also changing. So the challenge is get used to what was not expected and which we cannot control. We are moving forward rapidly now. There is not one expected way for everyone to go. This is a relationship, and each one is utterly unique. And the journey is uniquely experienced, and there are no, this is what I must do, except that you hear from within you, this is what I must do. Keep your eyes on the ground, the earth beneath your feet, and keep going. Because when we take a step, then the light shows up. When we stand still or turn around and do nothing except expect the map and the way to appear, nothing happens. Yes, disaster. Come on. Enjoy your reflection this month. And that means, you do your own reflection. We all do our own reflection. This reality is ours, mine. Nobody really can share my experience. but we can get a great deal of encouragement and support in the everyday struggle of our lives to keep going in joy and confidence if we share our experiences or if we're willing to give time to help others. And so I wish each of us a wonderful month and the one that's coming ahead as we travel light-hearted with no path, only the going. Don't forget to share it. It's well worth sharing. And we hope we'll meet in our 5th month and see where we've all got to by then. We know where we're going. We know what we're invited to. But how? We'll get up and try. There's only the going. There is no one way for everyone, except to keep your eyes on the light and the earth beneath your feet. We'll meet on the way somewhere.